Today, I'm going to show you one of my favorite restaurants in Funchal. I've been meaning to film this place for a long time and I'm so excited to show you it today. If you're looking for good food, good meat, and good steak, this place might be for you. So let's get inside and get this meal started. This is it. It's called Campo, and it's smack bang in the center of Funchal. I'll leave the link in the description, as ever. But this restaurant is made for meat lovers. The chef has other restaurants for different things. He has one for fish, one for traditional Madeiran food, one for Portuguese food, one for Japanese-inspired food. But this one is definitely for the meat lovers. And there's nowhere that shows it better than the fridge with the meat in there, because you're coming to this place, I think, for the steaks. And just look at those in there, all different cuts. This premium dry-aged chouleton looks incredible. But you also have Wagyu steak, dry-aged ribeye. But these, look at these. Look at the quality. T-bones in there, sirloins in there. Huge cuts of beef there. And you can just tell by the quality. It's all dry-aged. And actually, dry-aged meat, it's just a different level, isn't it? And these I hope are going to deliver. I've been here before and filmed live streams of events where I've come here and had the lunch menu, but I haven't shown you guys the steaks yet. I cannot wait. Let me show you the menu though, because there's more to order than just that steak, of course. It's broken into sections. You have the classics to share. Think of these as your starters. I mean, you can probably just come and have these, to be honest, if you're having a lunch, but you definitely want to be having some of these. Ones to call out: the bread, of course, the tuna tartare, that one is amazing, and the bola de Belém. We're gonna try all of those and a couple more off there, so I'm gonna show you as many as I can, and then you have the meat. As I say, these are meat dishes. They're good, I've tried them, they're delicious. However, if you're coming to this place, you want the cuts, right? Like, why wouldn't you want the cuts? So here you have your Wagyu, as I showed you, your chouleton, the T-bone, and this, Rubia Galega, the premium quality steak here, the premium quality beef. There is a fish section, but go to his other restaurant for fish. And then obviously have dessert. And if you really want to take the decision out of it, you can have the menu for sharing. So there's a 2-person menu here and you get, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dishes. So that's not a bad option either, I guess. One more tip before we get into the food, I promise. I like sitting at the bar. So there is like an open table restaurant bar area. Maybe it's not a bar, but it's more like a bar seat. I love sitting there because you can watch the chef preparing your food. You can see them cooking. You're part of the action, and I love that. Today I'm filming, so that doesn't really make sense with tripods and holding everything there. So I'm at a table, better lighting, things like that. But if I was you and I was booking, on your booking, you should definitely say, if you want to, if there's 2 of you or 1 of you, you should say get the bar seat. You can still talk, but I just feel like it's a completely elevated experience, right? And then finally, do book, because this place does get busy. So don't be left disappointed. You definitely want a reservation. Anyway, let me order my starters, and let's get eating. All right, first up, we have the staple of any restaurant, and that is bread. And I've said this before because I've been here on the live stream and I've been here on the lunch menus, and you do get these on the lunch menus, that this, I think, might be my favorite bread in Madeira. Sourdough, baked here. It's still warm, actually, which makes it even better, but you can see the crust on the outside of that. Look at it, little bubbles on the outside as it's baked. But the fluffiness, the lightness, the uniformity of the inside, it's so good. You cannot beat good bread. Now, I told you he has multiple restaurants. Each one has a slightly different version of this. This one, because it's the meat one, there's a chorizo crumb that goes on the butter, and it is unbelievable. I think the other one, there's nori powder, there's a black olive powder. Black olive powder is good, actually, but you cannot, come on, you cannot beat aged chorizo to go on that. So I'm just gonna spread a good amount on that bread. Look at that. Look at that. You can see that crumb on the top. Let's try it. It's just the crunch on the outside, the softness on the inside, and then the butter, the rich butter. Of course, bread and butter, you don't need a blooming explanation of that, do you? But then you get that savory hit from that chorizo, that meatiness from the chorizo. It's so good. It's so good. And then there's little olives on the side, marinated in citrus. It's just a great thing. You have to have it here. I'm gonna call it 9.5 out of 10. We have to be careful on the 10s that we give, but I'm going to rate every dish we have, I'm going to give it a score out of 10, and we'll see overall what does this meal get. Next up, we're properly into the starters, and I'm going to call it now, this might be as close to a 10 out of 10 that you can get on this menu. I've had this before. As I said, there's some that are new on the menu and I've not had before. This one I definitely have. This is raw tuna, dressed, and it's got onion in there, red onion in there. There must be soy, lime juice. There's seaweed in there as well. Look at that, strands of seaweed. And it's in like what I can only call a cornetto style cone. Madeira is not famous for tuna, but you catch fresh tuna. Well, fresh tuna, how else do you catch tuna? You catch tuna off the coast of Madeira, so it's something very synonymous with the island. To put it in a cone like this is pretty cool. It's an interesting take on it. Every time, it is unbelievable, and it's absolutely jam-packed with tuna. It's dressed in Asian flavors, but it's so fresh. It's so vibrant. It's so, I'm not going to say meaty, but it is almost meaty with that quality of the tuna. If you're worried about the raw side of the tuna, don't, literally. This could be the one that makes you, change, because there's so much going on. You don't really notice that it's raw. It's just a delicious flavor. The other thing to say, in the sharing section, you can see I've got one, and that makes sense, right? But they are, they're a dish of two, basically. So two would come out for the price that you see on the menu. If you're one person, they will halve it if that's what you want. You might want two of these, to be honest. Why didn't I order two? But they will halve it, and then obviously you'll get charged half the price. So if you're dining solo, do not worry about it. If you're dining solo, even more of a reason to sit at the bar, right? Do not miss this one. I beg you. Oh, I forgot to give that one a score out of 10, but I think you could have guessed, for me, that one is a 10. Next up, we have something very Portuguese, but interesting, an interesting twist on something very Portuguese. This is called bola de Belém, which is essentially a donut. It's a sweet donut, and you see them all over Portugal, including in Madeira. However, this is on the starters, so it's not a dessert dish. It is filled with Portuguese sausage called alheira, and it's also filled with a mushroom mayonnaise, and I think actually there's truffle as well in there too. And then on top you have nori, and then you have icing sugar on there as well. So it's a play on sweet and savory. You know how I love that. But it's interesting because also the sausage on the inside is not just a normal sausage. This sausage doesn't contain any pork. It was developed, made, invented by the Jewish community in the 15th century during the Inquisition. And it meant they could eat sausage and get away with being Jewish, if you see what I mean, without actually eating pork. So in there goes meat, can be chicken or something else, just not pork. Bread is also in there to fill it out, and then you have fats and oils and spices and stuff like that. This looks incredible. Look at it, filled with that sausage. It's soft and it's creamy from that mayonnaise. But you know you're eating a donut, and it just messes with your mind. But then you get the texture from the alheira. So you think it's soft on soft on soft, but there is a texture to the alheira. But it's just so interesting. I'm not normally a big fan, I must admit, I'm not normally a big fan of sweet and savory in a savory dish. I like it in the dessert. It doesn't mean I don't like sweet things. But this is so interesting. It's such an interesting play. And then your lips get covered in that nori and icing sugar on top, and you lick your lips and you get the, again, salty and sweet again. Genius, this one. That one might be another 9, maybe even higher, but I'm gonna give it a 9. The only issue is you eat with your hands. Now I love that, but my hands are sticky and I hate my hands being sticky. But they've thought of that. They give you a little towel, and actually they come over. It's one of those little compressed ones, dried ones, and they pour the water in, and it expands out into a little cloth that you can wash your hands with. So you don't need to rush off to the bathroom. You can carry on enjoying your meal. Oh, cracker. What's next? We're back with a new dish. This is Rubia Galega sausage, one of the most amazing cattle to eat in the world. It is topped on kimchi. And I knew I had to order this one. One, because it was new, but two, because it was kimchi with the move to Asia and all, albeit Thailand. And then it's on brioche and then covered with a barbecue sauce. Looks amazing, smells amazing. Should we get into it? See what's on the inside? I'm gonna have to do the full cut here. Oh man. Look at that. I'll show you the cross section. I'll just show you a little bit of that sausage. Look at that. On the inside, meaty, meaty sausage. I'm gonna get a little bit of everything. A little bit of the brioche, a little bit of the sausage, a little bit of the kimchi, and that barbecue sauce. Let's try it. Oh man. Wow. Now you're gonna have a laugh at this one. If I could only eat one sausage for the rest of my life, that might be it. That is unbelievable. But honestly, I know it's a beef sausage as well. It's more Argentinian than what we're used to, or what I'm used to as a Brit. And actually, when you're in the supermarket, you see a lot of, sorry, I'll take these off because the autofocus doesn't catch my eye with those on and it can mess it around. You can now tell me, do you like with the glasses or without the glasses? However, in the supermarkets here, you actually see a lot of beef sausage, and I think they're never quite as good as pork. But this one is unbelievable. The depth of flavor from that matured Rubia Galega. It's an ex-dairy cow from northern Spain. I mean, I've been talking to you for about a minute and a half, and I can still taste it in my mouth. It's that good. And with that toasty brioche, that creamy, actually, it's very creamy kimchi. If I'm honest, I would like more of a oomph from the kimchi. When I think of kimchi, I think spicy. So maybe it's the wrong name for it, but as a dish, it's a 10 out of 10. If I was thinking of the kimchi, I would probably call it a 9.5. But forget that it's called kimchi. It's a 10 out of 10 dish, 100%. All right, I know. I've got a dish now that might cause a little bit of controversy. It's foie gras. However, my opinion on that is you can look at a lot of foods, or people turn a blind eye to a lot of foods that are not produced in exactly the best way, including the chicken that you eat from the supermarket, and they don't cry about that. I mean, people do, but you know what I mean. To be honest, if you're happy eating the chicken from the supermarket, what's the difference with this? It's both not fantastic. So eat we do. We have foie gras with passion fruit and banana, so very Madeiran on the bottom. To be honest, I just want to try the foie gras on its own. You can see it's been pan-fried, crisp and golden, very delicious, glistening on top, covered in salt, and then it's on a bed of that banana and passion fruit below. So let's try it. Oh, yes. Oh, that is good. Does the flavor go with the banana and the passion fruit? Actually, you know what? Maybe it might. It probably does, but to be honest, when you have something like foie gras, oh no, wow, okay, that's interesting. So I was about to say, I feel like maybe they drown each other out, but it just works and it's nice. But then the flavor of the foie gras comes way back and fills your mouth. So that's very good. Bananas in Madeira are great. Passion fruit in Madeira is great. Obviously, they try and get them into dishes. It's synonymous with Madeira, so why not? But to be honest, I just want the foie gras on its own. It's good quality though, cheese. And it's so rich and fatty and just melts in your mouth. It just disappears. What am I gonna give it out of 10? I'm gonna go with 8.5, just because I'd rather just eat the foie gras on its own. Give me 2 portions of that. Okay, the main course has arrived. Now, you cannot come to a steak restaurant and not have a steak. And you can't come to a steak restaurant without having the Rolls Royce of steaks, one of the giant cuts. Yeah, they do smaller ones, of course. They're cheaper and they're smaller. I'm sure they're still just as good. But let's face it, if you're gonna have a steak, have a steak. The only issue is this is probably for 2 people at least, and I'm just on my own. However, I was choosing between the Rubia Galega steak and the normal matured ribeye, which is actually from Ireland. Considering we tried the Rubia Galega in the sausage in terms of the flavor, and I've had it before, that flavor, I wanted to try this one just to see the difference. I actually got to watch him cook it. It looked amazing on the charcoal. It's cooked over charcoal, and he's really taking care of it and making sure it's cooked perfectly. And you can see that. It started off going golden brown, of course, on the grills, but now it's come out this dark, deep color with the crust on the outside. I actually like steak medium rare. I asked him to do this one medium because I wanted the fat to run out, because I love the fat on this steak, and you can see some of those pieces. I mean, they are so fatty. Look at that, perfect. It comes with fries, nice looking fries, and then it also comes with a salad and some pickles on the side, and a truffle mayonnaise that you can dip the fries into. So let's just try it on its own to start. Huh. Wow. That is incredibly good. The flavor, because it's cooked on that charcoal, you get that deep, smoky flavor. Not a bitterness, but you definitely get that smoke coming through. Almost tastes like it's been cooked on an outside grill. It is unbelievably good. There is a big difference, actually, between Rubia Galega and this normal matured beef. This one is probably more tender. It's more clean tasting. Yes, it's very, very beefy. But the Rubia Galega one, it's so unique. It's a bit more tough. This one's definitely more tender than that one. You have to chew more on the other one. They're both ribeyes, but they are different experiences. That one can be too much. It can be too mature. It can be too cheesy. It can be too interesting. I love it, but if you don't want to take it that far, this is probably the cut that you want to go for. Just try a more fatty piece. Oh man. Yes, yes, yes. Wow, 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 wow. Obviously. But you know what? Because I've asked him to cook it medium, that fat is rendered out and it's soft and it's actually edible. Sometimes I think if you have medium rare, it's still a bit raw. And you can't savor the fat. Cooked like this, the fat is just, oh, it's so good. So good, and especially with that char. For me, that's the best bit on the steak. Now, some people ask me questions about which cut should they get when they come to places like this. For me, I love ribeye. For me, ribeye has the perfect balance between tenderness, meatiness, juiciness, fattiness. For me, it's perfect. You can go sirloin, you can go, well, T-bone and get a couple of cuts on that cut, if you see what I mean. But this is the one for me. So if you're not sure what to do, maybe try the ribeye. These cuts cost more, but the value is actually ridiculously good. The Rubia Galega one is 88 euros a kilo. I bought a Rubia Galega steak, a big one, a kilo, in England, and it was more expensive per kilo, and that was when I had to cook it. They're cooking it here for you. This one is 66 euros. As it stands, prices change, 66 euros. On the bone, of course. I mean, on the bone, of course, look at that. Big dino bone that comes with it. We're going to be getting my chops around that later, but for that quality, 100% worth it. I think when you're having steak, you want the quality to be there, right? Let's try the salad, because that's definitely what I want when I'm eating a big steak like that. It's good. It's light. It's fresh, obviously. But why waste space? You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm on one of those eating challenges now. Have you seen on YouTube now, they have these guys who go around doing these massive eating challenges. I feel like this is it. After all that food before, after this, or going through this, and then dessert to come, definitely start the clock. How far can I get? I would say, all right, they're pretty much done, but that's more than, there was 2 portions there, so I've had more than my portion. The salad, no blooming chance. 1 piece to go. I'd say that's a good effort. Victory. And out of 10, 9.5. Half because I would love someone to share it with. No, I'm joking. 10. You didn't think I wasn't going to have room for dessert, did you? And I had to have this one because I love this one so much. Every time I come here, this is the dessert that I have. It is caramel, chocolate. It's like chocolate biscuit. There's a biscuit on the inside, and then you've got tangerine on the top. Well, I'll get into it and I'll tell you, but what I like to do, I eat the tangerine sorbet on top first because I just love the flavors of the dessert below. I know why they put the sorbet on top. You have to when you're in a fancier place. You have to do that little bit extra. But for me, that is good though. Wow. This tangerine season here in Madeira, so smooth, so powerfully rich. Not rich, sorry, fresh. Fresh, like squeezing those tangerines into your mouth. That is super good. Not too sweet, not too tart, perfectly balanced. But it's the underneath that I want. So normally I take it off to the side, I eat a little bit of it, and then I get into this. Let me show you, if I can, if it's going to focus, let me show you this. You go through the layers of that chocolate and that caramel and that biscuit, and you get a little bit of everything. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. If you have a sweet tooth, this one is for you. It's unbelievable. Flavors, textures, sweetness from that caramel, chocolatey, rich chocolatiness. Then you get the crunch from the biscuit, and then they put sea salt on top. And you get the sea salt coming through as well. It is very, very good. That's another 10 out of 10 for me, to be honest. 10 out of 10 dessert. Cannot complain at all. You know what it reminds me of? If you are British, you will remember the chocolate called Rolo. It definitely reminds me of that. But what it reminds me more of is they used to do like a Rolo yogurt, which had chocolate on top and caramel on the bottom. It very much reminds me of that, just thicker and more delicious, of course. Why not? What a meal. What a meal. One you cannot miss when you're in Funchal. Absolutely have to. And this is the meat one. As I say, there are other ones in his name or from him that you can go to if meat isn't your thing. But if it is, you do not want to miss this one. Some of those dishes were fantastic. The highlight has to be that beef sausage. I just don't think you can beat that flavor that it gave. But yeah, overall, what am I going to give it? I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10 overall. Fantastic service, fantastic food, fantastic value, fantastic quality. Nice meal. I normally tell people to do something like this on their last night. This can be the, end of the holiday, treat yourself meal. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.